What's the dumbest reason you got in trouble for at school? Glued googly eyes and folded a paper clan hood onto a clam I had just dissected and dubbed it the Ku Klux Klan. I gently poured strawberry milk against a window while making eye contact with a teacher. Can't exactly recall why I did it, but I had detention for a week as a result. For wearing a giant yellow fluffy hat to outdoor sports class. We were required to wear a hat, but the teacher didn't approve of mine, so she sent me to the vice principal. He didn't care what hat I wore, as long as it was a hat. I won and the teacher was pissed. In elementary school I got in trouble for running on the playground. My mom called the school and basically told them to go sit in a hat, and they removed the rule. Arsehole kid broke my Fiskars scissors in half. Teacher saw the broken scissors and reported me to the principal for having a weapon in class, and I was suspended for a week. I was 9. For clarification, this was the same year 9/11 occurred, so make of that what you will, but I just remember this. A guy pulled my pants down when I was talking to my teacher about my grades. I was going commando. Mrs. Young saw my 7th grade black dick. That was awkward in front of the rest of the class. I was sent to a S. After school suspension. Funniest punishment I ever had. Writing an anonymous note to a teacher that another teacher had told me I should write and suggest she practice better hygiene as the smell of Bo was almost unbearable, only to have a teacher that suggested I write it sell me out. Left square bracket. Back in high school I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh with a few pals. Random teacher comes up to us saying we're gambling and takes us to the dean to have us suspended. Thank God the dean was not retarded and let us go, since she knew how harmless a game of Yu-Gi-Oh was. In 4th grade, I was playing tag with the other kids during lunchtime and was called to the office because I was running too fast and it was unfair to all the others that they couldn't tag me. She threatened to suspend me for this. I was also banned from going into the computer lab during recess and lunch. Repost from dumbest reason you've been arrested. A friend and I were talking on Facebook about killing each other on RuneScape. We got arrested because an administrator at our school Facebook stalked us and thought we were actually going to kill each other. Not me, but my girlfriend. This happened in grade 11. Oh, and this is important for later in the story, but my girlfriend is a Jew, both religiously and ethnically. Our grade 11 social teacher was always trying to convince people to base their essays around a political ideology they didn't agree with. He said that this was good for both the students and the teachers, as it made the students better at debating, and it could help them uncover new ideas. He said teachers also like it, because if it's done right, then those types of essays are more interesting to read. So, she's good at social studies, and it's only grade 11, so it's not like her mark matters, and she decides to do this on the next test/assignment. For the next assignment we had to write some political speech in the perspective of some historical or modern day political movement, and then present it to the class. She decided to do National Socialism, aka Nazism. At first when she presented people started to laugh, including our teacher. Even she was laughing as everyone could see the irony of a Jew writing a speech in the perspective of a Nazi. Anyway, she was really good and got a round of applause, and our teacher gave her 100%. A few more days pass, and some school administrators came to our BO class and told her to come down to the office. They showed her the speech she wrote, and they demanded she explain herself. She said that it was for social, and they could write from the perspective of any political movement. This isn't good enough for them, and they start to rage at her and tried to get her to answer more questions. She decided she wouldn't talk to them anymore, pulled out her cell phone, and called her dad. Her dad is a law professor, so that probably explains why she didn't talk to the administration. The dad gets there and starts to argue with them. They threaten to expel her, take her phone, and report her to the RCMP. The dad is so pissed he pulls her from class while he sorts this out. Eventually, they back down. As hey, why would you want to mess with the law prof? Our teacher told her the principal found the speech after he left it in the break room by mistake, and even after he explained it to the principal, she insisted that she would investigate. I was walking in the hallway with a cookie I got from the cafeteria. I was bringing the cookie up to my mouth When the VP of my high school got me in trouble for eating in the hallway, I pointed out that I had not yet taken a bite and I could see she was frustrated by this. So I was let off the hook. In 8th grade I jokingly called my friend a ginger at lunch. The lunch monitor heard this, and I was suspended for 2 days because I used a racial slur. Long story short, I had a verbal confrontation with a teacher who didn't do her fucking job right. So the homecoming game at my school was going on at the same time as the act. The important thing to note here was that it was the extended time portion of the test and there were maybe 10 people in the library taking it. Anyway, I was in the marching band. After playing at halftime I went into the school building to use the bathroom. In order to get to the only bathroom that was open at the time, I had to go through the hallway adjacent to the library where the test was being taken, or go all the way around the building. After moving through it silently, I reached the other end. At the end of the hallway are double doors. After that was the bathroom. Right outside was the teacher, if you could even call her that. She was supposed to be guarding people and preventing them from entering. She comes into the hallway, says you have to go back and go around if you want to go to the bathroom. Why? Excuse me? Because I said so. I'm assuming you're here to keep the hallway clear. If I walk back through it that'd just make it worse. Why should I go back and cause more of a disturbance? Now she started screaming in the fucking hallway that was supposed to be silent. You'll do it because I said so. Fuck it, I'll be bossy. No, I won't. What? You're fucking ridiculous. I'll have you written up. No you won't. It's a Saturday and you're not my teacher. I walked past her. The closest thing to punishment I got was the band director asking me what happened. I told him the above, and he just laughed and wrote the teacher in question off as an idiot. TL. Doctor, I didn't do something stupid, and I only kinda got in trouble. At my elementary school, they used to play the Star Spangled Banner over the intercom in the morning, and one day I got in trouble for singing along. Teacher didn't care if you talked through the entire song, but singing was not allowed. In kindergarten I got a paper cut on my middle finger and then got sent to the principal's office for holding it up while applying pressure to it with my other hand. My mom got called in and I got in trouble for flipping everyone off. I had no idea what was going on or why I was in trouble. I had no idea what flipping someone off was. When I was in 3rd grade I got in a verbal argument with another kid because he was trying to take all the bugs I had caught during recess. At some point during this argument I must have told him I'll kill you if you take my bugs, or something along those lines. He decided to elaborate my statement and tell his parents that I was going to bring a shotgun to school the next day and kill him. Lo and behold, I wound up almost expelled from school over it. Another time, this time 2nd grade, I was accused of taking all my clothes off on the bus and waving my cock around. Another false accusation, but was still banned from the bus for a while. Some bitch threw all my books on the ground right before class on the first day, and the teacher walked in as I was picking them up. Why are you out of your seat? You must be a troublemaker, so you'll sit up front next to me. Sat there the whole year, had never been in trouble before, still wish pain upon that girl to this day. Story time. In high school I had the most imbecilic history teacher I've ever had the displeasure to meet. He was so bad the entire class had previously got him fired from teaching econ because he didn't know what Keynesian economics were after teaching us about it for a month. Instead of firing him entirely, the school just made him a history teacher instead. On this particular day our teacher was going over the Monroe Doctrine. My friend, well aware of our teacher's prolific stupidity, pipes up and says, actually, although Monroe proposed the act, it wasn't passed until President Clinton, who named it in Monroe's honor. Our teacher then goes up to a poster on the wall that lists all the presidents up to Reagan and carefully reviews each president listed, then turns to my friend and goes, "We never had a President Clinton, get out," and throws my friend out of class. I instantly chime in, "Mr. Name omitted, I can assure you that we did have a President Clinton. There was a blowjob involved and everything." The only response I got was, "Get out." In my defense, I actually made it out the door of the class, made eye contact with my friend who'd just been thrown out, and fell to the floor nearly crying with laughter. It was the single dumbest and funniest reason I'd ever gotten into trouble. I was in a circle watching two kids attempt to fight, as was every other 4th and 5th grader on the playground that day. I was the only kid not fighting to be called to the principal's office that afternoon. He thought I was fighting and was suspending me when I explained that I didn't participate, and the other kids confirmed. The principal still suspended me for not telling any authority. I basically got in trouble for not being an ARC, and because the principal had already written up the suspension. Fucking stupid. Religion class, freshman year of high school. We are studying the Old Testament and we get to the story of Noah and the Ark. The text reads, after Noah was 500 years old, he became the father of Shem, Ham and Japheth. Gen 532. I ask my teacher what the explanation is behind the age. I get accused of being a literalist and have to write a paper on the biblical story. Gotta love Catholic school. I told a teacher to fuck off. In my defense, I told her I was dropping off the speech team because I was already doing the 1-act cast, 5 app classes, taking my SATs, being a drum major, and starting therapy for anxiety and depression. I felt like speech/debate was the only thing I easily not do, and she yelled at me that I was being selfish and not thinking of anyone else. So I told the bitch to fuck off. I once got sent into the hall for doing a problem too quickly. In 2nd grade I got sent to the principal's office because some kid tackled me on the playground. I did absolutely nothing to him, but the stupid lunch supervisor got me in trouble. Everybody except for her said it wasn't my fault, but the principal, even after saying it wasn't my fault, gave me the same punishment as the kid who tackled me. Context: Australian school, only use metric. Grade 3, 8 years old, start of the year. The vulture of a teacher I had demanded we hand over our rulers so she could give out our approved double metric ones. Most rulers came with centimeters on one side, inches the other. Double metric had centimeters and millimeters. I refused since my mother had the foresight to buy me a double metric one. Before I could explain, she sent me from the class. When she came out to talk with me later and take my ruler, I pointed out mine was already the correct type. She then punished me further for resisting her orders. TL. Dr. Bitch tried to take my ruler. Writing on my hand. I was merely testing a marker. I got yelled at. This new girl moved to my town in junior high, and like any school, there were some serious assholes. She had the misfortune of taking a seat in front of one of the aforementioned assholes, who then proceeded to jab her, tug on her hair, etc. When he didn't get a reaction, I was appalled when I saw him take a bottle from his backpack, open it, and start pouring Pepsi down the back of her shirt. I leapt out of my desk, grabbed the bottle from him, and clapped him on the back of the head, yelling, "You can't do that to someone, you stupid piece of shit." I got kicked out with him for swearing and tussling. Seriously, is that a thing? But it was worth it. The girl became one of the best friends I ever had, and she still is. In 3rd grade we had journals to write in. Our teacher was a bit of a cunt and kinda meanly sarcastic towards slower kids in our class. At the beginning of the year we were asked to write about how we felt after our first week in 3rd grade. I had a bit of an advanced vocabulary when I was 8. I wrote, "I hate 3rd grade. Most of my friends are in a different class and the teacher is sardonic." She said she wouldn't read them, but the sick fuck did. Anyway, she thought sardonic meant satanic and told the principal. Once had a professor yell at me for not paying attention during her lecture as she saw me looking down at my desk. I was taking notes. Needless to say, I was a bit baffled. Around 7th grade, I brought a gun magazine to school because we were supposed to bring our own things to school to read, which included magazines. A friend saw me reading it and asked if he could have it, so I said yeah. A month later, he brought it back and a teacher sent him to the principal's office. He told her I brought it and gave it to him, so then I got sent to the principal's office. She said I might be initiating people into a gang. Got a couple days of ice. The nerdiest kid in class with no prior record and current student of the month. Not really sure how ice would help stop gang recruiting anyways. Teacher driving behind the bus, older big kid, freshman maybe, flips off the car from the backseat next to me. Get suspended the next day because teacher said I did it, proved I didn't do it, and still got grounded for guilt by association. Geography lessons in my 7th class always went for me like this. Teacher, hey class, now I'm being funny. Class, you are so funny, ha ha ha. Now we can't even concentrate on geography anymore. Teacher, shut up you unruly class, and concentrate on my lessons. It always went like this, almost every lesson. Then one day, after she was telling jokes, and then started complain again. Teacher, you all get on my nerves. Me, you on mine too. Teacher, who said that? Whole class goes silent. Anyways, it ends up with me being ratted by a classmate. So that was the only time I got extra homework.